Welcome to the Meredith Taylor Show. Meredith is a former Division I SEC college golfer and is now the owner of McKellar Enterprises. Join the conversations with Meredith and other notable guests covering sports, leadership, personal growth, and so much more. Now, your host, Meredith Taylor.
Before I even get into today's message, I want to point out something we've all been watching lately in sports because it's the exact same issue I deal with as a coach. We've seen coaches get criticized for calling out their teams publicly after losses. Outsiders will hear it and immediately say, quote, "That's harsh," or "That's too much," or "You should keep that in-house." But what those coaches are doing is protecting the standard that they have set at their program and reestablishing the identity of that program. I'll give you two examples. One is Tennessee women's basketball coach Kim Caldwell called out her team after they lost to South Carolina. She took some heat after that loss when she said in the post-game press conference her team had a lot of quit in them that night, that when things don't go their way, they'll quit. And she made it crystal clear that cannot happen in the SEC, and it cannot happen at a program like Tennessee. I see nothing wrong with those comments. Second example, you had the Texas coach, Vic Schaefer, after they lost to Vanderbilt. He didn't sugarcoat it. He said they had no heart tonight, that they weren't tough, and that that was probably the softest team he's had in years on display that evening. Now, listen, people can label that as quote-unquote criticism all they want, but I call that leadership, because great coaches aren't just there to clap when things go well. Great coaches draw the line and say, this is who we are. This is how we operate. And also, this is what we are not. And when the team drifts from the identity of your program, when effort drops, when toughness disappears, when focus gets sloppy, it is the coach's job to pull them back to the standard. That's what the greats always do. Nick Saban didn't build Alabama by hoping guys would feel motivated that day at practice. Pat Summitt didn't build Tennessee by being afraid of uncomfortable conversations. No, she was direct and would come at you head on. I'm a witness to that. I went to Pat Summitt's basketball camp. Coach K did not build Duke by letting standards slide. They coached the truth. They protected culture, and they demanded consistency. They demanded a certain level of standard. All right, so let me start with this. Today's episode, I've been waiting on this episode for a while, but with everything that's kind of going on lately in sports, this is the perfect time to do this episode. So the high school players who say they want to play at the next level, but aren't practicing like they do. Now, if you're a casual golfer and you just enjoy the game and want to have a good time, bear with me while I rant for a minute, because I'm about to talk straight to the players and those that especially want to play at the next level. I happen to, for those that are new, I did play at the next level. So this is not, theory. This is real life. I lived that standard. I did play in the SEC, right? And so here's the truth. College golf doesn't care about your talent. It doesn't care about your potential. It rewards what you can repeat on command under pressure. And that repetition comes from doing the basics, the boring stuff, the fundamentals you already know you should be doing, but you keep skipping because it's not exciting. It is monotonous. It's the fundamentals on repeat. I mean, we're talking about the same simple drills done relentlessly until you can't get them wrong. And before my high schoolers brush this off, I know exactly what the level demands. I lived the standard, so this is not a guessing here. It's not theory. I didn't read this in a book. I lived it. So if you want that, you're going to have to earn it daily. Because if your fundamentals aren't automatic, pressure will expose you. Period. So yes, this might step on some toes, and honestly, good. Because as those coaches have shown, and as I have, you need a coach who will tell you the truth, that will coach you hard, because it's the only way you can have success. It's how I was raised as a player. It's how you develop into a winner. Coaching you hard doesn't mean being hostile. It means being honest. And those coaches that I just referenced were completely honest. If you go watch them play, the days that they played, they were sloppy. They were absolutely below standard. And that coach had every right to say what they said. Because, if you tell the truth and you genuinely care, players respect that. Like, we know as coaches, we're not always going to be liked, and that's okay. But the players know that you're not letting them waste an opportunity that's in front of them. You only come this way once. Let's do it right. So let's talk about what that actually looks like. That daily standard if you really want to play college golf. All right. So here's the college golf reality check that most players do not want to hear, but I'm going to say it anyway. At the college level, everybody can hit. Everybody's got a pretty decent swing. Everybody has had moments where they look unbelievable on the range. Talent is assumed. So if you're hanging your confidence on, I hit it good when I'm feeling good, that's not a plan, that's hope. Hope's not a strategy if you're trying to earn a roster spot. Okay, college golf's built on reliability. A college coach will recruit what they can trust. So I want a player whose game travels. The player who can show up on a bad weather day. If the course has very tight, narrow fairways, and I want a player, if they make a 3-putt, they bounce right back. They compete. They want the player who doesn't need everything to feel perfect to shoot a good score. Because here's the real truth. Tournaments don't reward your best swing. Tournaments reward your patterns. They reward what you can repeat when your heart rate goes up, when pressure is high. And, that they reward what you do when the shot actually matters. And this is where fundamentals come in. The fundamentals are your default settings. They are what you fall back on when pressure hits. So if your grip's inconsistent, if your posture's always changing, if your alignment is always sloppy, if your setup is different on every single shot, you live in the world of guessing. You're guessing your contact. You're guessing your start line. I'm guessing the curve. I'm guessing my distance control. You're not competing at that point. You're just trying to survive. And that's why I'm so intense about this. I've seen it over and over again. A player may have some talent, but they don't respect the basics. They don't build the foundation. They skip the boring drills. I'm going to chase fun stuff. They want a new tip, a new swing thought, a new fix. And meanwhile, nobody wants to talk about the fact that they aim 10 yards offline. Their ball position moves every swing. Their tempo changes every time they get in a tournament or they get nervous. So let me say this clearly. Most swing problems are setup problems. And most inconsistencies are fundamental problems. And the player who's willing to master the basics on a daily and weekly basis will pass the player who is quote unquote more talented. But that player is lazy with the details. Another way that I say this is hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And every time. every time. I beat a lot of talented players who were way more talented than me, but they were not willing to master the basics. And I was willing to do whatever it took. I didn't skip boring drills. I did not skip the fundamentals on a daily basis. And I beat a lot of talented kids because I was not lazy with details. So I kind of want you to think about this quote. And it just says, success is often found by practicing the fundamentals everyone knows they should be doing, but find too boring or too basic to practice routinely. It's not just a quote. That's reality. And it's the difference between the player who stays the same for many years and the player who makes a big jump in one season. Because those boring fundamental reps are not just building your mechanics, they're building your confidence. Confidence is not a personality trait, it's actually earned. Confidence is earned. It's knowing that I've done this 10,000 times. And when you get in a tournament, you're like, yeah, what's another time, right? It's not I'm hoping I play well. It's I know I'm going to play well. Because I put in the work. I've earned this confidence, right? So the question becomes, what are the fundamentals that you have to own if you want to play college golf? Not the ones that are going to look cool on Instagram. It's the ones that win golf tournaments. So let's break it down. All right, let's get into fundamentals that you have to own if you want to play college golf. Not the flashy, not the fun, the stuff that's going to win you a golf tournament. And makes your game hold up when you're nervous. And I'm going to say this up front. You don't get to, quote unquote, kind of do fundamentals. You don't get to do them once a month. And you don't get to do them only when I'm not hitting it well. Maybe I should do some fundamentals. This is the standard that I'm talking about. So number 1, grip. If you can't control the club face, you can't control the golf ball. Period. End of story. You're going to have, I see players that have a weak grip one day, a strong grip the next day. You're going to feel like golf's a guessing game. One day it's a push, next day it's a pull, then it's a double cross. And you'll think, oh my gosh, I need a new swing. No, you need the same grip every time. Grip's not exciting. Grip is not glamorous. Grip is not going to get you views on Instagram. But it will absolutely decide your start line. And that's what decides your scoring. And listen, the better you get, the smaller your margin for error becomes. And so if your grip changes under pressure, your club face changes under pressure, your ball flight will tell on you immediately. So number 1 is grip. Number 2, posture and setup. Most high school players do not struggle because they can't swing. I hear this a lot. Drives me insane. They struggle because their low point's inconsistent, and your low point's directly tied to posture and setup. If you stand too tall, if you get too close, your posture collapses, your ball position is ever changing. Welcome to fat shots and thin city. Okay? Here's what I need you to understand. College golf's not impressed by your highlight shot. It's impressed by your shot management, meaning what's your dispersion like? Like, are your bad shots really, really bad? And to me, if your setup is solid, your misses get smaller. Your dispersion gets tighter. If your setup gets sloppy, your misses will get expensive. That's the best way I can explain it. So that's number 2, posture and setup. Number 3, alignment. This one right here, it's a silent killer. I've coached so many players. They think they're fighting a slice, they're fighting a pull, they're fighting a block, and they're literally aimed 15 yards the wrong direction. And when you aim wrong, you start making swing changes to fix a problem that would have started with an alignment stick. So let me say this clearly. If you're not consistently aimed where you think you're aimed, that is not training. You're just kind of gambling in a way. And the players that are elite, they're not going to gamble the basics, right? They remove variables. They make the game simpler. Put down an alignment stick when you practice. This is not difficult. Get your club face square. Get your feet square. I promise you, your swing changes that you thought you needed simply vanish. All right, number 4, tempo. Tempo is what shows up when nerves show up. So here's the truth. When you're nervous, you're not going to suddenly swing better. You actually will swing faster. You get quick, you snatch it away, you get steep, you get handsy, and you wonder why you can't, you can stripe it on Tuesday, but then you get in a tournament and you can't. Tempo is the bridge between your range swing and your tournament swing. If you want to play college golf, you need a tempo you can trust. Number 5, short putts. If you want to score, you can't be casual about short putts. Short putts are momentum swings. Short putts is confidence. And it's the difference between saving par and making bogey. And it's the difference between staying patient and completely spiraling. Show me a player who routinely makes 5-footers, 4-footers. I'll show you a player who competes with belief. You show me a player who hopes that it goes in. I'll show you a player that's completely unprepared and will collapse in tournaments. You don't practice short putts because it's fun. You practice them because you want to compete at the highest level. So let me connect all of this because this is where players either take off or they're going to regress. The biggest reason you don't do fundamentals consistently isn't because you don't know what to do. It's because you don't like how they feel. It forces you to face the truth, first of all. Like you thought you were good at 5-footers and you're actually not. Or you thought you were a good chipper and you're really not. Or you thought your alignment was good and dialed and it's not. So it forces you to face the truth. It's also humbling. It's repetitive. And it's slower. But that's exactly why it works. So here's what I'm going to give you. Just something very simple and repeatable. Something you can do every day. And if you actually do it, it will change your game. These are the daily non-negotiables. It's kind of a minimum standard that you do, like no excuses, non-negotiable. Spending time on your grip and your posture. Use a mirror. Use your phone. Check it. Don't guess. Check it. Spend 3 minutes on alignment. Put a club down. All right? Get an alignment stick. Put it down on the ground. Train your eyes. Train your aim. Spend 3 minutes on tempo. The same rhythm you're controlling your swing. And then spend time on 4 and 5-footers. You need to go through your full routine. And I always tell my students to set a goal. You're going to make 20 in a row. And if you miss on number 19, you better start over. And that's something that it's called pressure training. Literally called pressure training. You are training yourself to make these high pressure putts. When you know you've got one more putt or you have to start all the way over, it puts a little something extra on it. You're building a standard and you're building trust within yourself. You're building certainty because repetition removes doubt. Let me say that again. Repetition removes doubt. So I will challenge you because, talk is cheap. Everybody wants college golf, but few are willing to train like it. Everybody wants college golf. Few train like it. So spend the 5 minutes on setup, alignment. Spend 5 more minutes on, half swings. Spend time on 4 and 5-footers. It doesn't take that long, to be honest. And you're only tracking one thing. Did you do it? Yes or no. That's it. Not how good you felt, not whether you were inspired that day or you had a perfect range session. Did you do the work? Yes or no? Because stacking days is how confidence gets built. Stacking days is how discipline gets built. Stacking days is how winners are made. You really think that Steph Curry doesn't do the same thing every day? Do you really think that Scottie Scheffler doesn't do the same thing every day? Novak Djokovic doesn't. It's the same consistency. That's why they're the best. The fundamentals matter. And this applies to more than just golf, like consistency in everything you want to do well in life. You're going to have days you're not inspired or motivated. That's where discipline shows up. And the players who make it on and off the golf course are the ones who can overcome the days they don't have motivation. And those, when you set big goals, that informs you on what your daily goals are. And those daily goals should create the standard that you have to uphold. So let's close it this way. If you're serious about playing college golf, let this be a reminder. The next level's not built on hype. It's built on work. It's built on fundamentals. And it's built on doing these simple things so consistently, they become automatic. And I'll leave you with this too, because this is, for me, my real foundation. And I read this verse a lot when I was competing. It's in Colossians. Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for humans. It's the Lord you are serving. So when, doing boring reps, working on things that are not as exciting, grip, posture, alignment, setup, short putts, don't treat it like punishment. Treat it like your purpose. In this season, I'm going to show up with excellence when no one's watching. I'm going to honor God with my effort, because character is built in private and confidence is earned through consistency. So go stack days. Do it right. You only come this way once. Let's do it right. And if you want help building a plan and a standard that matches your goals, DM me. Send me an email. I'll tell you what to prioritize and how to put a plan together. As always, God bless and go Gamecocks. I'll see you in the next episode.
There are several ways to support the show. If you leave a review, you'll be entered for a chance to win a free golf lesson with Meredith. Follow Meredith's social media for giveaway details. And to give a donation, you can click the support link in the show notes. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time here on the Meredith Taylor Show.
Are you tired of practicing golf without seeing results? Imagine having a coach in your pocket every single week, guiding you step by step. My name is Meredith Taylor. I'm a former Division I SEC golfer and now teaching professional. I've created the Inner Circle, which is a private community where golfers just like you get a brand new golf tip every week, an ever-growing drill library so you always know what to practice, a monthly live Q&A where I answer your questions directly. I've helped thousands of golfers lower their scores, and now I'm bringing that same coaching directly to you, no matter where you are in the world. You'll finally have a clear plan, accountability, and support. So right now, you can join as a founding member for just $29 a month and lock in that price for as long as you stay inside this group. Click the link in the show notes, join today, and I'll see you inside the Inner Circle.